Afternoon. You are welcome to another class with Yusuf. Today we'll be looking at prefix, and I'll make sure that you guys have a nice time with me learning prefix. Now, our objective for this lesson for today, number one, is at the end of this class, you should be able to define what is prefix, identify common prefix, use prefix in a sentence, attempt questions on the topic, which is what prefix. So stay with me and let us learn on how to answer question on prefix. Now the topic itself, prefix. Now prefix and suffix is gotten from the word affixes. Affixes. So when you divide affixes into two, we have what we call the prefix and the suffix. Now looking at that, we want to look at prefix. Now what is a prefix? A prefix is a group of words. A prefix is a morpheme. I like using the word morpheme, or you call them units of word that is added at the beginning of a root word. What am I trying to see? The key word here is root word. The key word here is what? Added. Where? At the beginning of a root word. That means we must have a root word, then you add a unit, or what we call a morpheme, to the beginning of the word, giving us the root word. Now, what are the common examples of prefix that we have? We have un, it's a prefix. We have il, we have mis, we have dis, we have ir, etc. These are common examples of prefix. Now, if you look at, there are some words that you see when you see unil, mis, dis, ir. These are prefix. Now, how do you identify common prefix? We are all familiar with the word happy. So happy, which is an adjective, will be our root word. Happy is a root word. Then if you add un to happy, it gives us unhappy. Now unhappy is the new words that we derive. So un here is what we call the prefix. As I said earlier in my definition, that you must have a root word, which is the root word here is happy. We have un, which is our prefix. Then you add your prefix plus your root word together, it gives you the new word unhappy. Now let you know this. When you talk about prefix, mostly use it to, we have something that is synonyms and antonyms. So prefix mostly is used for antonyms. Antonyms, that is the opposites of a word. The opposites of a word. We use prefix mostly for the opposite of a word. So these are very common examples of prefix. There are so many examples of prefix, but these are the common examples of prefix. So I'll exhaust these ones here as an example so that you can be able to learn. And we'll look at more. So I gave un, I said un, we have unhappy. So you are giving a word like this, unhappy, you underline. Il, you have illegal. Illegal. Very simple. Prefix is one of the simplest subjects I like teaching my students very well. Illegal. Okay, for mis, you have mismanagement. Mismanagement. Mis plus management. For this, we have dislocate. We have the word dislocate. For this, we have irregular. Irregular. Now, the trick is this. You get a root word. You are given a root word. You look at it very well. Every word has a root word. Then you add your prefix to it. Adding your prefix to it, then you get a new word. Mostly you need to form the opposite of that particular word. You use prefix to form the opposite of that particular word, which is here what we call the antonyms. Now, using prefix in a sentence. Using prefix in a sentence. How do we use prefix in a particular sentence? Let me clean this side off. How do you use prefix in a particular sentence? For example, if you have I am unhappy. I am unhappy. So unhappy is the opposite of what? Happy. If you are happy and want to what? Get the opposite of happy, then you just add UNT, then you have what? I am unhappy. So using that, we have my teacher taught us irregular verbs. Irregular verbs. My teacher taught us irregular verbs. I have irregular. So this is using prefix in a sentence. My brother dislocated his shoulder. So we have this here for the as a prefix. This is me using prefix in a sentence. This is using prefix in a sentence. The principal mismanaged the school funds. The school funds. Let's put an S. The principal mismanaged the school funds. So miss here is our prefix, etc., etc. You have so many words. It's easy to identify prefix. It is very, very easy to identify prefix in a question. So you can be given questions. If you are given question, you might be given a root word, obey. Then add your prefix. If you are given the root word obey, you add the prefix. Then you just look at which prefix can I use. Very simple. Obey, then you just add dis. You have what? Disobey. Disobey is the word, is a prefix. The unit of the word added to the word, root word. That is what? Disobey. Okay. You have engage. You have the word gauge. Now most of us don't know that the word engage consists of what? A prefix. The word engage consists of a prefix. So we have gauge. Gauge is the root word. Then you have en to it. Then you have what? Engage. Engage is n here is your what? Prefix. Even though we have something like antenatal. Antenatal. So this anti is your prefix that you add to the word natal. Now, even though the word prefix, so the root word can be fixed, and your pre-re is your prefix. So using the word prefix itself is what? Is prefix. Using the word prefix itself. So that is that. You look at words. You get words, then you have disappointment. Disappointment. Then this is your word. This disappointment. Then this is the word. Is a prefix. So the first thing you do is identify your word, root word. So the next thing we'll do, we want to look at our root word, then our prefix. This will be the last step we take. Our root word and our prefix. Our root word and a prefix. So which word do you think we can use? Which word do you think we can use? Root word and prefix. Untrue. Let's start with true. True is the root word. You add un to it to become untrue. True root word. You add un to it to become what? Untrue. Un and true. So that's the prefix, and the root word is what? Is true. Taking another multi-purpose. and you have your purpose. Purpose, then you have what? Multi. Multi. You have another word, improvise. Then you have provise. You have what? Improvise. So the little I've been able to take you through, let me just rush through what I've been teaching this morning, and I'm going to hand it up there. Okay, we look at prefix. I said, oh, my bad. Let me just say it. I said there are units of words or morpheme that you add at the beginning of a word, a root word. A root word. That's the beginning of a root word. I also mentioned affixes, which is divided into two, which is prefix and suffix. We have examples of common use of prefix. I said we have un, in, min, dis, im, a mixture of un, en, im, etc. like that. There are common examples of what prefix. A mixture of prefix in examples like I am unhappy. So you have the root word happy, you have un, unhappy. My teacher taught us irregular verbs. Irregular verbs, so the irregular is them. And I was able to bring out some affixes, that is some prefix, which are divided into root word and prefix. So that is the size of the package for now. If you have more questions, please send it to the comment section. Thank you for listening.